Southeast Asian region is actually consists of a diverse group, different nationalities, cultures, and populations. So there are more than 680 million people in the Southeast Asian region. So obviously the challenges are not uniform. There are differences in infrastructure, differences in terms of their economic strength. Some of the challenges that we have in common is, of course, the presence of chronic diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer on the chronic disease side, and there's also the emerging and persistent challenges of infectious disease such as dengue, tuberculosis, and hepatitis. So these are some of the challenges that, despite the diversity and challenge of the different countries, we all share in common. So those are the challenges that we face in Southeast Asia. The laboratory environment is definitely unique in the sense that the process from the beginning of specimen collection all the way to the results being released needs to be fairly controlled, and any errors that occur along the process could potentially compromise the quality and accuracy of the results. So therefore, standardization of the laboratory practices, not only within the lab, but across, for example, network of laboratories, to ensure that the quality of our lab results remain intact in the entire process. As far as workforce challenges and shortages, it is something that we do encounter personally in my experience in Singapore with an aging population, and also the not so attractive role of medical technologies. We do struggle getting the right people to join the industry. Some of the challenges that we see repeatedly in our laboratory is definitely from a knowledge gap perspective, experience, and also the requirement of performing or doing shifts across the 24-hour spectrum, particularly in the hospital environment. As you can rightly understand, we can't close the hospitals at night. These are some of the challenges that we face in terms of recruiting medical technologists. Many of them would prefer not to do night shifts, and also have very strict requirements that they are particularly attracted to certain parts of the laboratory. Hence, that makes it very difficult. From experience, most of them, upon graduation, would often ask to be deployed to certain areas of the lab. For example, the molecular diagnostics, the hematology section, or the microbiology section, because these areas, what they have been exposed to most during their studies and also from their practical experience. They find it more interesting, looking down the microscopes, looking at perhaps organisms and stuff. They find the more automated areas of the laboratory boring. Hence, it is always challenging to get them to be interested in those fields. Particularly in clinical chemistry, for example, myself, I find that interesting because the interesting part is not in the repetitive work of specimen processing, but rather looking at the clinical results, correlating it with the clinical experience, understanding the troubleshooting of control QCs. So these are some of the challenges that we face in the laboratory. First of all, pathology has got a very huge spectrum. It's a little bit like clinical medicine, if you like to draw that comparison. For example, whether it's a respiratory, cardiovascular, the endocrine, and infectious disease, and so forth, they're all grouped under the clinical medicine discipline. Likewise, for pathology, we have got many different sub-disciplines. That includes the clinical chemistry, hematology, microbiology, anatomical pathology, and also genetics, molecular medicine, metabolic medicine as well. So first of all, for aspiring young scientists, they need to be aware that each one of those are really highly specialized. So they do need to get a feel of what is their area of interest and pursue them accordingly. Otherwise, you're just scratching the surface, so to say.